Well, it looks like I have to call out Channel 1 again, and they're clearly rubbing it in our faces this morning. Well, going into the afternoon. Pretty much a bad Sunday if you're trying to get real news from Channel 1. And obviously, I have to use the thumbnail from in the papers today. Because they're too focused about Kim Kardashian. You want proof? We'll get to that at the end of the video. But we really have to talk about very, very serious news stories that, Channel 1 is just completely ignoring. They're completely ignoring us again, as usual. So, if you didn't hear, it was an awful hit and run in Sunset Park last night. And I also found out there was another hit and run in Brooklyn involving somebody loading materials into a U-Haul truck. So, let's watch the Channel 7 video that I was able to find this morning, and you'll see what Channel 1 is just ignoring as usual.
Killed when he was run over by a car. The driver left the scene. But there are new developments this morning. Eyewitness News reporter Johnny Fernandez explains from Sunset Park. Good morning, Johnny.
And good morning, Michelle, here from Sunset Park. Well, police just released the name of that victim. They're saying that he's 66 years old and his name was Jose Fernandez. And police also say that they've identified the driver. The driver, they're saying he was 54 years old and he left the scene, and within hours they were able to locate him and talk to him about what happened here. Now let's get over to some video and show you guys at home the scene here at the intersection just moments after this hit and run. Now police say Hernandez was crossing 4th Avenue at 59th Street when he was hit. You can see from the surveillance video the moment he crossed and then suddenly collapsed on the street. The video shows the moments after the collapse, and he was on the ground for some time and then hit by the car. The 54-year-old driver left the scene. First responders rushed Hernandez to a nearby hospital where he died. We did speak with one friend this morning, and he spoke out about his thoughts regarding this hit and run.
I can't sleep last night because, we miss him. Like, he was a good guy. Very sad about, he was a friend, brother, but very close friend. Very sad, very sad.
And at this point, police say that the driver is not facing any charges and the investigation is still ongoing. Reporting from Sunset Park, Brooklyn.
So that was a very good report from Channel 7 this morning. And again, you know the obvious. You know the obvious that, again, we're ignored by this TV station. So, let's get Avenue, 4th Avenue, 59th Street. So, this is Sunset Park, so I definitely know where this is. I'm going to show you where this is. This is not too far from, of course, bump, 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 bump. This thing would budge. Thank you. Zoom out. Yep. This is not too far from Owl's Head Park. Yep. So I know exactly where this is. You got Sunset Park right here. By the way, this is a very dangerous street to cross in the first place. I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. So, this is 4th Avenue, okay? This is a very dangerous street to cross. So it doesn't surprise me that it happened here, but wow, I mean, you really got to be careful crossing the street. You could get hit by a car here. 4th Avenue, this is a very major thoroughfare. 4th Avenue, I know exactly where this cuts up to. 4th Avenue literally cuts up all the way to the Barclays Center. So, yeah, trust me, I know exactly where this is. So, the victim was probably taken over to Langone Hospital, which is weird coincidence that this had to have happened right by Langone Hospital. Right here. So, very, very unfortunate. And, of course, you want to go on the homepage of Channel 1? Look at this. They're not going to have anything on it. Look. This is the homepage. This is the homepage. Really? Really? I'm going to go to Brooklyn. Of course, Nicole Malliotakis. In fact, let's see if Channel 12 Brooklyn covered this. Brooklyn.news12.com. Here we go. Let's see if News 12 Brooklyn had anything on it. That's what I'm curious about. Let's see. Anything about it on News 12 Brooklyn? Okay, good. So News 12 Brooklyn actually did have something on it. So let's take a look to see. At least News 12 Brooklyn does their job. I will give them credit. Actually, News 12 Brooklyn. But guess what? 22 seconds!
In Sunset Park, police say
a 66-year-old man was jaywalking, crossing the street at the corner of 4th Avenue and 59th Street when he was hit and killed by a vehicle. Police are looking for that vehicle now, and they know it's a gray Toyota of some kind. The victim has not been identified yet, was pronounced.
Oh, so that's interesting. So Channel 7 didn't even mention what type of vehicle hit the pedestrian. So it was a Toyota, a gray Toyota. Wow, okay. But at least Channel 7 confirmed they did find the driver. So, yeah, but 22 seconds, and they didn't even send a reporter. They didn't even send a reporter. Okay, so let's get to this other one in Brooklyn. And this is another unfortunate one. So, thankfully, the good news is it sounds like this person's going to be okay. And it looks like this was a hit and run by a Mercedes-Benz driver. Okay, here we go. Man was critically hurt loading a U-Haul truck back on Tuesday, October 18th, when he was struck by a heartless Mercedes driver who abandoned his crashed vehicle and ran off. The 29-year-old victim was loading the truck on Ocean High Avenue near Kings Highway. Oh, I know exactly where this is. We're going to go on Google Maps in a bit. A 2020 Mercedes-Benz C300 rammed into him around 3 p.m. according to police sources. Oh, and look at this. Here's the Mercedes. Wow, so give credit to the Daily News. They actually have a picture of the Mercedes that rammed into the U-Haul. Look at that. Oh, is that blood? Oh, man, that's really, really graphic, but I'm surprised the airbag didn't go off. Look how tinted those windows are. The man's legs were crushed when he was pinned between the front of the Mercedes and the back of the U-Haul truck. The Mercedes driver and a passenger jumped out of the vehicle and ran off, leaving their victim with serious leg injuries. Medics rushed the victim to Bellevue Hospital, where he remained in critical but stable condition. So wait a minute. Why was the victim taken to a hospital in Manhattan? That doesn't make any sense. Alright, so let's look this up. I know exactly where this is. Kings Highway and Ocean Avenue. So I know exactly where this is. So all we have to do is go here. Yep. This is in Madison. So I know exactly where this is. Right by the high school. Yep. 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 So I'll show you where exactly did this happen. Right around here. So I know exactly where this is. Yep. So this is another dangerous street to cross. Ocean Parkway. Yeah, this is another very dangerous street. I mean, it's like Queens Boulevard is dangerous, yes, but compared to 4th Avenue, compared to McGinnis Boulevard, and compared to the Ocean Parkway, and even Flatbush Avenue, and I'll show you right by the mall for another example, but man, Brooklyn's not pedestrian friendly. That's a given. Even I know this. So this is where it happened, somewhere around here, but you get the idea. All right. And I know this area very, very well because this is right by a diner I know. The Mirage Diner, right around here. See, it says Mirage Diner. So let's go further down Kings Highway, and I'm going to give you another example of how dangerous it is to cross the street in Brooklyn. I know Queens has its hot spots, like, again, Northern and Francis, and then you got, of course, again, Brooklyn is not pedestrian friendly. All right, here's another dangerous intersection I know that's not safe for pedestrians to cross. This is right by the Kings Plaza Mall right here, Avenue U and Flatbush. So this is not pedestrian friendly. You know, transportation alternatives should be speaking up about how dangerous it is for pedestrians walking in Brooklyn. Because again, every time I've been on McGinnis Boulevard, in especially other dangerous intersections when I've gone to Williamsburg, you know, it's not safe. It's not safe. So I'm going to do one more example. Just to show you again that, you know, transportation alternatives should be speaking up about this. They really should. Because, again, it's not pedestrian friendly in Brooklyn. Here's Flatbush and Atlantic. Another dangerous intersection. Look how dangerous this is. You could easily get hit by a car. Okay. So, we're going to get to some other stories that need to be covered, of course. I've already spent too much time rambling about, you know, how, you know, a lot of these dangerous intersections have a lot to do with accidents involving pedestrians, and, you know, that's all I have to say. Now, this is another urgent story. Homicide in Harlem. Nobody covered this other than AM New York. So here we go. This happened yesterday morning. 3:10 in the morning. Jackie Robinson Housing Complex. This is at 111 East 128th Street. Officers from the 25th Precinct and PSA 5 respond to a 911 call about a shooting, finding a 31-year-old man unconscious and unresponsive with a bullet wound to the chest. Witnesses told police that the victim was involved in a dispute with an unidentified suspect moments before he was shot. Witnesses told police that the victim had been involved in some kind of dispute with an unidentified suspect moments before he was shot. The victim was taken to NYC Health Harlem Hospital, where he was pronounced dead a short time later. Pending family notification, police are withholding his identity at this time. Police are currently looking for a suspect who law enforcement sources described as a man with a dark complexion, at about 5 feet 9 inches tall, and wearing all black clothing. He was last seen fleeing on foot southbound along Lexington Avenue. So, one of my viewers know who he is in Harlem. He should be more worried about this than criticizing Pix11, because Pix11 is a much better news source than Channel 1 is. But this is the news that gets ignored. This is the news that gets ignored clearly. Alright? And there's other two stories that we're going to talk about in Manhattan. So, there was a road rage incident in Hell's Kitchen last night, which I will briefly mention that Channel 4 did bring this up on the air last night. So here we go. Detectives are investigating a Hell's Kitchen stabbing on Saturday night that left a 52-year-old man seriously injured. Published reports indicate the violence may have been rage-related, though police sources could not confirm those details this morning. So this happened last night at 8:48 p.m. Oh! Funny enough, this was when I was literally coming home from Long Island last night. So this happened at 42nd Street between 9th and 10th Avenue, so right by the Port Authority. So it says here, a fight broke out between individuals in two different vehicles at the location. One of the passengers proceeded to stab the victim, who was with one of the drivers in the back. Officers from the 10th Precinct respond to an attack following the 52-year-old male victim stabbing 3 times in the back. EMS rushed him to Bellevue Hospital for treatment of injuries not considered life-threatening. So far, no arrest. Oh, and look at this! There was a stabbing on the Upper West Side last night. And of course, I take this very personally, because I know 2 people who live in the Upper West Side. I'm not going to say who, but I'm just going to say they're A-list celebrities. Don't ask how, don't ask why. But anyhow, Upper West Side last night. Authorities say the victim was attacked in front of 527 Amsterdam Avenue at about 11:11 p.m. last evening. Officers from the 20th Precinct found the male victim unknown with a stab wound to his neck. The victim was taken to Mount Sinai St. Luke's Hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. So, we do have a suspect description. Police are looking for a man in his 30s. Same height as me, 5 feet 8 inches. He was last seen wearing a Yankees baseball cap. So, again, Channel 1 ignores this. No surprise. Now, let's get into the Myrtle Wyckoff subway push. Now, the good news is we have pictures from the Crime Stoppers. So if you didn't hear, there was another fatal subway push on Friday at Myrtle Wyckoff Avenue. And police believe that this suspect is the one who pushed the victim onto the tracks. So we do have a video of the incident. I'm going to have to warn you, it's pretty graphic. Let's see. Okay, looks like they don't have a specific photo on here. Okay, here it is. Right there. Right there. I found the video from CBS New York. Alright? Watch this again. Watch this again. Channel 1's not going to show you this. Okay? I mean, really. So, this is just, again, another reason why, if you want this bad pattern of subway pushing to continue, you vote for Kathy Hochul. Plain simple. But if you want a change, you want the legislator in Albany to have a special session to fix the bail reform, Lee Zeldin. Clear-cut answer. So before we get to in the papers, let's get into a couple of posts from Laura Uley. So, there's a robbery spree in Jackson Heights. Here we go. Latest incident happened on Thursday, October 20th. This is at 1:30 a.m. at a store on Northern Boulevard and 69th Street. Suspect displayed a knife and took off with $2,000 from the cash register. And then look at this. Robbery in Queens Village while shots were fired in Hollis. 3 p.m. I think this was yesterday, yeah. So this was a robbery at gunpoint in Queens Village. Hollis Avenue and 217th Lane. The suspect, male black, took off on foot with items. 3:15 p.m. later on in the afternoon. Multiple shots fired in Hollis, according to the 103rd Precinct. This is on 205th Place and 104th Avenue. ESU recovered shell casings. Detectives are checking for bullet wounds. And then, Friday night. Shots fired in Ozone Park, Rockaway Boulevard and 114th Street. Multiple shots fired in Astoria, according to the 114th Precinct. So you know how bad this crime really, really is. You clearly know how bad this is, folks. I mean, it's clearly obvious how bad this situation has really become. I mean, it's so unfortunate. It really, really is. And then there was a 12-9 Flushing Main Street. But from what I saw on Instagram, 2 plainclothes police officers tackled a suspect. So I don't know if that was the same incident I saw on law enforcement Instagram, but I could just be speculating. So I just want to see if I can organize, let me see. Yeah, okay, here we go. Look at this. We did cover this, the St. Albans one. Okay, I'm just organizing this. Yes, okay, this is what I wanted to read. So this is the last one. So, this is some very disturbing stuff. During the week of October 15th, 3 people were robbed in Belrose on Union Turnpike early in the morning. Before that, on 251st Street and 83rd Avenue, a victim was robbed also in the evening in the Belrose section. A victim was robbed on 260th Street and 80th Avenue in Floral Park around 7 p.m. on October 15th. On October 20th, around 3:30 p.m., a victim was robbed on Broadway and 72nd Street in Jackson Heights. Earlier in the same day, a victim was robbed on Northern and 69th Street, right where the bodega was hit. 3 commercial burglaries in Queens. There was a burglary in Franklin Avenue and 136th Street back on Thursday evening. So there you go. I mean, Channel 1 clearly not covering this. And then, according to Leon Fuchswig, guess what? Crime is up in my precinct again. So I encourage you, if you live in Fresh Meadows, follow this guy, Leon Fuchswig, on Facebook. He's really good with the crime stats in my precinct. So here we go. For the week to date ending October 16th, 2022, crime is up 66.67%. For the 28 days that ended back on Sunday, October 16th, last Sunday, crime is up 54.26%, 145 versus 94. For year to date, from 2021-2022, crime is up 55.71%, 1,241 to 797. For the week that ended on October 16th, the neighboring 109th precinct in Flushing also saw crime going up. 63.16%, 62 versus 38. Grand larceny up 550%. Burglary reports also up 333%. The neighboring 111 precinct in Bayside, which serves Ostam Hall Nursing Home, crime is also up 108.33%. You really cannot make this stuff up. And you know, shame on the 107. Okay? Why in the world would you organize a community precinct meeting when we have the New York gubernatorial debate on Spectrum News Tuesday night? I mean, really? Really? And then it looks like Community Board 8's meeting on Wednesday. So there you go. I mean, what else is new? What else is new? And of course, you have more of the specifics on here. So let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, here we go. I mean, the good news is homicides in this precinct really don't happen as much. But look at this. 2 rapes. At least robbery went down by 2. Felony assault went up. Burglary went up by 1. Grand larceny went up. Grand theft auto up. I mean, it's so obvious what's going on here. It is so obvious. I mean, thankfully, we're not up to those dangerous highs of the 1990s, but we could get there the way things are looking if we don't support Lee Zeldin on November 8th. So, here we go. I want you to see what the fine folks at Spectrum were talking about this morning to wrap up today's video.
Okay, time to take a look at what's in the papers on this Sunday.
And we are going to begin with the front page of the New York Post, talking all things crime in the city. It's saying more than 4,000 city cops are on pace to retire or resign this year. Now, this is the most since the September 11th attacks, but as we've been reporting here as well, Mayor Adams and Governor Hochul still insisting yesterday a new initiative will flood the subways with officers on overtime. Pension fund figures reveal that more than 3,000 officers
goodness.
Netflix show The Watcher of Gawkers. Shannon might be one of them because she
marathon this
Gossip.
year. The paper as well. And Neve Schulman from MTV's Catfish. You know, Neve impacted
in there. Yeah, you get the point.
Here we
They
go.
are down 3-0 now against the Astros.
We're talking about the Yankees.
That was a rough loss last night. The main front page story
Here
looks
we
at the
go.
new city and state plan to beef up police presence in our subway system. This is one of our top stories as well. The plan includes more overtime patrols for NYPD officers in the subway system. After an increase in subway crimes, the cops' cameras.
Yeah, and this is a pathetic plan called Cops, Cameras, and Care. So, let's watch what they have to say in the rest.
Care program will also provide more resources to help the homeless and the mentally ill. The MTA also working to add cameras in all subway cars. Some subway riders not very impressed. One in the Bronx interviewed for this story says it's really just going to be the same thing. You barely see cops down there.
The Daily News says New Yorkers, for the
Exactly. And then lastly, let's watch this part.
most part, are pretty much done worrying about COVID despite warnings. New Yorkers interviewed for the story, like Catherine Cleary from the Upper West Side, says, I'm not worried. I feel like people are not necessarily dying of it, but health officials are warning of a possible surge in cases this winter.
The legacy of an NY.
Yes, and, you know, I'm going to briefly mention, this is what worries me if we have another surge. Oh, this and that. No! All right, what you need to do, and I think this is what the FCC should do. You should start regulating these TV stations and tell them that you only are allowed to provide 90 seconds maximum of COVID coverage. 30-second minimum. The minimum could be you just go over your local COVID numbers and remind people if they have to wear a mask. That's it. Don't over-exaggerate. Oh, this and that. You know, that's what happened last year when we had the surge last year. Am I worried? A little. I will admit that. But we know what to do if there's another surge. Just wear the mask. God. You know, this is our media. This is our media today. We focus on one thing and we just ignore the important stuff. And I encourage everyone. Again, hopefully Spectrum will have the free pass. Watch the debate on Tuesday. Because you need to see how bad Kathy Hochul's going to be about the crime. And more importantly, if you want to vote early, you can vote early beginning on Saturday. So I'm done. I am hopefully going to watch my Baltimore Ravens win today. They are due for a win because I am worried about playing Tampa and playing Tom Brady on Thursday. So that's it. Watch your back out there. And remember, we have to vote like our lives depend on it in the next 16 days. Thank you for watching. And try to make the most out of this rainy Sunday if you can.